What up? It's Moisturized Kev, and I'm gonna get right to it because I'm hot today. As you may have heard, R. Kelly just got hit with the RICO for just cause. Oh man, I cracked myself up. Though, and by the way, ignore my family in the living room. How dare them live in the same space when I'm trying to do my YouTube stuff. But anyway, I don't really want to talk about the case. I'm not gonna pretend like I dug through the case files. There's too much. There's just too much with Kelly, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's way too much historical context for cats to be doubting, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Is the response to this, and how we're talking about this. So I'm seeing the posts. I'm sure you're seeing the posts. Um, you know, uh, Comparing this to Harvey Weinstein, comparing the amount of time he got charged with, with Harvey Weinstein. There was obviously the flare up coming at. This is more in reference to Cosby, if I'm not mistaken, but the whole coming at Oprah or whatever. I don't know, but the logic is the same. Where cats try to find Weasley ways to defend these entertainers that have done these things. Whether it be he's getting more consequences than a white person who might have done the same thing, or this one is new. I've been seeing this one recently. The separate the artist from the person, and the art was so great and so amazing. First of all, talking about R. Kelly's music, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't all that. I mean, he's got some classics, of course. I'm not going to take it away from him, but I don't think there's any artist that's that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start abusing girls, I don't care how many bops you got. But why are we doing this? I was in a conversation with a dude today online, right? And, so first, he's, like, yo, fuck R. Kelly, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, right on, I'm with you. And so then he tries to pivot to, he's made so many classics that are, quintessential to the black experience. I Believe I Can Fly, it was on Space Jam, and it's historic. And essentially going on to say, oh, well, y'all let Uncle Ray or Uncle Lester, whoever, you know what I'm saying, y'all let him come to Thanksgiving, so why y'all can't let R. Kelly's music live? And it's like, first of all, you shouldn't be letting Uncle Lester come to Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's doing that? I know these are conversations that are, they might seem redundant, but they're so redundant because they come from a real place. And, the fact that so much sexual abuse and, violence against women has been tolerated. And, I'm talking about the black community. We can talk about American culture as a whole. I don't think any of these issues are in any way specific to the black community. Let's be clear. But I'm talking about the frame of reference that I know, culturally. So that said, all right. So that said, the key point that I wanted to hit, and this is the reason I'm doing this video, the same way people are defending R. Kelly, the same logical exercises folks are using. The key point that I really want to hit on is that the same arguments that I'm seeing, that we're all seeing to defend R. Kelly, there's a few people out here that are just blatantly like, oh, I don't believe it, them little girls lied, whatever. Okay, we at least know where they stand. Then you got the people that are out here like, oh, well, the parents need to be held accountable as well. Which, hey, the parents, the people that were aiding R. Kelly when he was doing what he was doing, yeah, they should be held accountable. I don't necessarily see why we got to talk about that right now. But, hey, good point. I just kind of feel like it's a deflective point. If that's where you're going to lead within this conversation, like, you should kind of start a new conversation. Like, yo, can we have a conversation about the other people that should be held accountable. It can't be like, yo, we got R. Kelly, X, Y, and Z, and then you just jump in like, oh, well, these other people should be held accountable as well. And then, an extension of that is Harvey Weinstein, he only got this. This white guy only got this. And I'm like, so what, B? Who cares? Like, who cares what the white man got? Well, we already know it's a white man's world, bro. Like, it's a different world. Although we all supposed to play by the same rules, we know how that goes. But that ain't none of my business right now, man. It's a lot of things we gotta handle in house. We don't always have the backup of the system behind us, but we definitely for damn sure can culturally excommunicate people, and that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Them same arguments, right? To get back to the arguments that we're seeing, all of the deflection, from talking about the fact that this man is guilty, and has been found guilty. The deflection, it carries over. It's a microcosm of what we see in real life. It's what women be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Quick aside, I know I can already see the comments. I'm simping, with my SJW shit, etc. I don't know, man. I just feel like there's certain. I mean, I be agreeing, with all the SJW, stereotypical SJW beliefs and shit, if you want to phrase it in that way. But I just think the key thing for me is, like, there's certain things where, hey, I'll, if you want to talk about who pays for dates and all of that corny shit, like, hey, okay, we can have the, whatever. But this type stuff, like, somebody is abusive, and there's, historical accounts. There's, the Aaliyah situation, just obvious evidence that somebody's predatory. And for so many people to just be okay with finding a way to excuse that, or, I think some people might not be comfortable with just tagging someone with that. It's easy to say like, oh, Hitler was a bastard because it was years ago, it's documented, and like it was drilled into your head. But it can be hard when it's like your cousin, your brother, somebody you knew, somebody you have reverence for, even somebody you just respect in the culture, like, an artist, an athlete, whatever. I get it. But ultimately, we have to be able to make those tough cutoffs. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I know I can see the comments, and I understand that there's a line and there's context, and, there's situations where, and this is a risky part of the conversation to have, there might be one allegation against someone, and you might disagree on how to frame that and how to view that. You might say, oh, I'm not going to consider him guilty or them guilty until I see all the evidence, or until, the court case, whatever. And that might not be necessarily the best way to look at it. I don't know. There's a lot of nuance there. But my point is, I use that to juxtapose, to freaking, I can't talk right now, to line it up with this situation. There's not any sort of ambiguity here. And in those type situations, you would think that we would just be able to get it right, where you just wouldn't see, I don't know if there's really too many times I've ever seen the internet, like, just fully agree on something. You know what I'm saying? I remember after 9/11, it's like MySpace era for me. But, it felt like people were kind of united on that idea, for the Trump election, most people, there are a bunch of situations I was in, whether protests or, just conversations where it's like, yo, we typically don't agree, but we all agree this man is trash. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of rare where you get that level of agreement. And again, to focus on the black community here, it's just disappointing that I've seen more agreement on albums being hot than this R. Kelly situation. Like, I've seen more cats agree that the Kendrick album was fire than I've seen, agreement on just giving R. Kelly this moment of this L. You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all gotta deflect from the celebratory moment for the culture? You know what I'm saying? A predator went down that, it could be viewed as symbolic. Hopefully it's symbolic. I don't know. I started doing this video because I was just depressed. Um, like, damn, like, the victims of these crimes that are just among us. You know, there's a lot of victims out here, and like, yo, they see you, bro. Like, they see you being so quick to, you know, play the middleman when we talking about abuse. Like, it's weird to me, man. It's weird. And I just, you know, if anybody sees this and be like, yeah, bro, I'm making a point, man. We gotta stand up on that. And, you know, he shores up his feelings on that, and that's dope. You know, I did something good. If you know, on the flip side, if someone sees this that's been a victim, or that's just, you know, on the right side of things, and it gives you a little bit of hope that there's someone else out there that's willing to put a stamp on that. Stand up and say, like, yo, we can't allow this behavior. But more than not just saying we not allow it, we gotta, like, take action especially when there's a specific instance where you can take action. It could just be as simple as just shutting the fuck up and not supporting the predator, and not telling people that are happy that you're not supporting and why they should. It's weird. But anyway, Moisturized Kev here. You have a good day. Peace.